It's a great day for a great day. Episode 20. It's hard to believe that we have 20 valuable episodes or podcasts that we call Sit in It here at Opening Doors Productions. I am Tracy A. Martin, hypnotherapist practitioner and life guide intuitive, and enjoy being able to have these interactions and connections with you. If you haven't been a part of Sit in It and are just new to the podcast, you're very welcome to come to YouTube's Opening Doors Productions. This is our channel here, and the plethora of all the episodes are there from 1 all the way to 20 today, as well as many other things that may be on the site for you to take a look at. Please do subscribe and like if you like what you're seeing, and please share to all of those that you love to help awaken and create awareness so that everyone has a chance to sit in instead of reacting in all of those broken mind traps that have kept you from the greatest parts of you. So today, episode 20, this is all about relationships, and I'm talking all relationships, not just one-on-one intimate relationships. I'm talking the very beginning relationship that has to always begin it all within you. Your relationship to the self, from everything that you have taught and picked up from everything around you, has programmed you into what is normal for you, what love is for you, and what love is not for you, which keeps repetitively coming through. Because the only way we are, as you will learn when you learn repeatedly, speaking over 1 + 1 is 2, knowing the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you say it over and over again until you know it fluently. Speaking a new language, it is repetition. Because the subconscious mind, no different than the superconscious, knows that whatever is repeated over and over again is something that you are asking for, that you want to be, and that's what makes you become it. And so when we take everything, and this is what Sit in It is all about, when we take everything knowing it has to begin inside, and then it starts to happen outside of us, this is the simple key here. Our relationship to ourself has to be the most fulfilled, respected, and cherished relationship, because it is the foreground of every relationship you're going to have with absolutely everything and everyone. We know in some of the episodes that we've taken you to the place of what is respect, and it's different for each and every one of you because of perspectives that you hold, your ideas of love, and the many, many experiences that you've had in order to give you some understanding or understanding of what you've decided you want and you don't want. And with relationships, again, I'm working with much of the consciousness. So I'll have many, many people contact me, and it'll be lots of men that have started wanting to become the king instead of the little boy, instead of the players, instead of the liars, instead of the hiders. And that will be a whole consciousness shift that starts to happen. And I'll have many of those beautiful souls come sit in my chair or have one-on-one sessions with me to have hypnosis and life guide to break through everything that's holding them back. And these old programs they didn't even know they were running, that were continually sabotaging themselves, that was continually keeping them in the place of lack. Because in the place of love, there is no lack. It is when you fall away from what love is into what love is not that you start to feel lack, and that's why it doesn't feel good. So many of you that have been bringing in a lot of your questions to me, that have texted me, that have been in contact continually with me, have been asking me many, many questions on relationships and how to move forward, and that you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And the first thing I'm going to have you sit in is I want you to contemplate very much so, can you control another person and how they're going to react or respond? No, you can't. But when you start to have that true relationship with yourself, in being able to have emotional intelligence, to observe before reacting so that you can really sit in and feel so that you can better respond, this is the first relationship that is the number one key to being able to love and honor and cherish yourself so that you can love, honor, and cherish all others. Many of you have been taught through disrespect that you were not anything to anyone, that you were to be seen and not heard, that you were just a part of a cog in a wheel, but that you were never ever told that you're amazing, that you are allowed, that you are enough. And this is the relationship first that you have to build within yourself. Anyone who is coming to me and wants some life guiding and they want it around relationships, it is always where I will take you to first, where you need to do the inner work on yourself first. And then, as well as if you have a partner involved or family members or family, because we do a lot of that life guiding with families, it has to do with each and every one of you individually, because each and every one of you is very important and have the right to be heard. And you have something you're feeling. You have thoughts that you are thinking, and you have ways and perspectives that are unique to you, where you may have taken things personally, where you might have judgment on others or expectations on others. And these are the three keys that create massive broken mind traps, is those taking things personally, is having judgment because you're so busy judging yourself, being so insecure, having expectations outside of yourself of what someone else should bring to you when you can't even bring it to yourself. And so these are huge things that are today in this episode 20 that are all about relationships and where the very beginning root has to come from. Because right now, like I've said in many of my episodes, we talk about a paradox, and that we will see what here on this 3D plane plays out as a duality, which will be an opposing feeling that you're continually needing to break through so you can break free. And so I've had many people in my chair right now within the relationships, whether it's marriages or anything intimate or friendships or with boss relations, with anything that's been going on. And there's many of you who have been going in to those dredges to get inside all of those shadow aspects of yourself, what are just hidden aspects that you've hidden, not knowing how to cope or break through them, because every one of you was taught to own a feeling instead of express it, feel it, let it flow. Again, the greatest analogy you can ever watch is that beautiful baby. That baby is a receptacle that knows exactly how to feel everything, and in 5 minutes can be happy, sad, poop itself and go to sleep, because it knows only to be what it's feeling, to flow it through. It knows it is not the emotion. It is a sentient being that feels through that flow. But many of you have been taught to keep stuff to yourself, that it is weak to cry, which is the exact opposite, which are all broken mind traps that have kept you from being able to be you authentically. The greatest strength and power that you will realize is being able to feel everything you are feeling without owning it and becoming it, because you can't own a feeling. They're just there to feel. But all of you have decided to hold on to it because you didn't know what to do with it, and it stores, entraps itself somewhere in the body, trying to get out because you are holding it hostage. It doesn't want to be held hostage. It doesn't want to be in a cage. It wants to be flowing through you all the time. And so this is a massive breakthrough for you to sit in, that when you have a thought coming in and you have a feeling starting to match it, is to be able to go into observation. Because many of you have been taught that happiness makes you feel guilty, because you were taught outside of yourself that you should be in this place of humbleness, which is another broken mind trap, instead of in honoring of and gratitude of. Because just because someone outside of you has decided to live in that poverty mind, they want you to go to sympathy mind, which is you living there with them. And you cannot help anyone when you are in that mindset. You bring them down even worse, and it becomes this awful drudgery, and you feel sludged and you feel awful. The true whole mind is that of the empathetic mind and the compassionate mind, which is about lending hand in, saying, I'm willing to help you up from here, but I'm not going to play in your pity party. The suicide mind, that's a suicide card that many people play, and guess what it is? It's a poor me card because you don't want to be accountable for the actions you have done. Sit in it. Become the action of the forgiveness in yourself, of forgiving any and all others, so that you can break that bond that you believe someone else has over you, that they are more important than you, that they're worth more than you, instead of the relationship you need to have with yourself first, to build that integrity of who you are and what do you stand for. Because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for absolutely everything, which you are seeing on a huge plane and scale right now. Because all fear is the breakdown of false evidence appearing real. The charlatans, the deceivers, the manipulators, that's what fear is based around, are tactics. That they take some forms of truth and then they twist them and alter them so that you resonate somehow to them. But then it puts you into this action of instantly taking you to the mind of the reptilian mind, which is a broken mind trap that takes you into fight, flight, or freeze, so that you emotionally cannot have intelligence to sit and observe in it and around it and through it to break through it. So today, this is taking you deeper to sit in the tangibility and the accountability that you need to be to actually have a relationship. Many of you who are on the awakening journey that are realizing that it has everything to do with you and the love that you are, that you can break through, that takes you to the truth, because love is truth. There is no difference. Love is light. Light is intelligence. It is information. Dark is the lies, the deceit, the deception. That is that lack, that place within that paradox scale that feels awful. And it's either love is or love is not, because you are either in love or you are in lack. And this is what it boils down to simply. The more that you stand in the observation mind or the wholeness of all that you are as the witness, you are able to see the stories trying to play out. And you will decide, what are you going to invest in? Episode 19, talking to you about investment. What is investment? It means, what are you investing your time and energy and feelings in that moment? Is it what you want or is it what you don't want? So then begin again. Create that new place to invest your time and place of happiness in and your worth in. And so, like I've said, right now I see the paradox of two different scales going on here, where there is one of the beautiful souls is in the awakening of realizing what love is and knows what love is not anymore, and doesn't want that relationship that has been programmed over quite a few years, and it only takes a few months to create the program of what love is not to you because you've allowed it. And what I'm saying to you, which will be both sets of clients, is it took time and repeated allowance to become that program. So therefore, communication is key, because only lack believes in confrontation. Love is communication. And when you respect yourself, you communicate fully exactly how you feel and think, because then those words cannot be used against you. When you are hiding what you are truly feeling, then you truly aren't standing in the place of love. And many of you are caught in this conundrum right now where you feel like you don't want to hurt the other, but you are finished with your lesson with them or your journey with them, and you don't know how to end it without hurting their feelings. It's none of your business. It is none of your business how someone else is going to take the news. And it's always the hardest for the person that believed they had no idea it was coming, or she, because subconsciously you know it's coming. But most people stay in a place of denial because they are so trapped in poverty mind, in the sabotage mind, that will keep them from the allowance of allowing new things. Fear of change has been a broken mind trap that has been put into so many people, instead of the excitement of something brand new. And the biggest way I can prove to you what the broken mind trap means, there's no such thing as a fear of change. Or you would live in fear from the very moment you took your first breath, because the second breath you've taken, you changed. The cells that are continually renewing within your body on a physical body, the mental, every new thought that comes in is brand new. It's a brand new change. Every emotion that you are feeling is a brand new emotion. And you can think it's the exact same, but you will never experience anger the same way you do ever, other than you did in that moment. Sadness, happiness, and joy will always be continually different and will be a change. So the broken mind traps that keep you pigeonholed in this little place so that you can't break through and break free of is a cage effect. And that's that broken mind traps that we're talking about. And so you only have this one life to live. And the moment you are true to yourself and you build that relationship with yourself, knowing that it has to be through integrity, through the passion and the desires as the creator that you are. If it's not happening for you, you're feeling consumed. And not only are you creating that for your other half or other relationship, whoever it is for you, so this becomes a program of lack, and you both start believing and living in it. And you can't live whole unless you're whole. You just become existing in it. And that's the shit that you feel in it, because none of you have the courage and the integrity to be true, whole, real, and authentic, because you're pretending, because you're busy lying, because you don't want things to change. The biggest that I am seeing in most relationships is that they love this person, but they're not in love with this person any longer. And they wish them well. And they want them to thrive. Most of them do. But the moment that I have seen many relationships split up, especially intimate ones, and the other partner moves on and starts dating someone else, all of a sudden the other person wants them back. Because they do the what if he or she becomes the person I always wanted to be with this next person. So I'll hold on to them a little longer just in case. Is that not tyranny and control? In a relationship, if you truly love yourself and want the best for yourself, then would you not want that for your other half? So if you know the two of you are crossing wires and it's not feeling good and it's feeling out of alignment because you're not happy and you're wanting something more or something different, do you not think that other person is worthy of having something that totally is appreciative of them? Or would you like to be the tyrant to control it so no one gets to have you if you don't want them? And this is possession, the possession mind. And it's a huge, huge broken mind trap that many of you are trapped in right now. And then we have people on the other side of the aspect that aren't awake at all. And they're so trapped in themselves. And they're so busy expecting everyone else to give to them what they need for needs and fulfillment that they want to leave that relationship because they're looking for someone else to give them their needs. So the paradox is the person knowing that they are loved and now knowing they're worthy of more love. And then we have the person that is so stuck in lack that can't get love if it tried because it doesn't know how to open its heart to love itself first. So he will and she will always continually seek out someone else. And this is why most of the people that are called cheating or affairs are happening, because this person is in the place of lack and is just looking everywhere outside of themselves to be loved. And they will never ever feel fulfillment because they gotta go inside. You gotta do the work. You gotta become accountable. So again, the 5 keys that I work with all the time. Number 1, you have to be accountable and responsible. First to yourself, to aware that everything is because of you. This is how important you are. This is how important you are. That everything that is coming out in your outside reality is because of what's going on inside of you. And every trigger that you are having, every runner that is coming to you to mirror to you what love is not to you, is because it has been a program that has been running of what love really is to you. Number 2, you become the action. That's the next key of those 5 keys. Once you become accountable, you become the action of knowing you have to do something new and different to change your trajectory. You can't do the same thing over and over again and expect something different. That is truly the definition of insanity. And that is where most of you have been kept in that complete loop over and over and over again, because you don't know what to do next. That's why the moment you're accountable and start to observe every action and reaction that you have been, or even the lack of response, is still a response. It is still an energetic that is playing out. Many of you that don't know how to communicate, so you shut down and you don't talk to your other. That is the biggest form of disrespect. So you deserve it back. You deserve that mirror back. Because if you can't communicate to yourself, you're lying to yourself, and you're lying to all others then. Because of your fear, because you have not believed that your words are important, and that how you feel and your idea of what love is to you is not worthy enough to be heard, to be nourished, to flourish. Sit in it. Confrontation is a broken mind trap. That was designed on purpose to keep your mouth shut, so that you stop asking questions and just do. You were taught it at a very young age, many of you, that were told to be seen and not heard, that you're just the child. How many people that go and, you have some kind of event and no one even thinks to talk to the child because they're talking over them, because they've decided as an adult that adults are more important than the old, beautiful culture that was about honoring the elders and the beginners, because you learn more from a child than you do from those in those middle places that of where they're so busy in their own way. And after years and years and years and years of sitting in things, many of you become set in your ways, but you also have some amazing experiences that help you understand of what the breakthrough process of letting go is. Through people having to lose people through death, through awful reasons of why they never communicated. One of the greatest relationships that I've gotten to have is with people who are a lot more experienced in their spins around this world. And I love totally investing time in speaking to centennials that are 100 years old, or, and it doesn't matter the number, but after 100 years of what we talk in our time space of experiences, they have important information to tell you, because they have been through generations. They have seen, oh my God, such a plethora of changes generationally. And when you sit and honor them and the words that come from them, boy, do you learn a lot. They may have some false ideas that they're set in spiritually or emotionally or mentally or physically, but there's always beautiful moments that come from them that they will give you so much information because of what they don't want anymore, because they had to live in it or lose it. And that is why you hear so many moms that have been the mothers that are talking to new time moms saying this is going to pass, and it's going to feel like it's taking forever because you're so tired. But we assure you it's going to be a blink and you're going to miss it. And the biggest broken mind traps that you have been trapped in is to look outside everyone who's around you right now and not have those moments right here, right now, because they never get to come again. They're gone forever. That little 2-year-old you is gone forever. After that moment's done, it's done. And when he becomes 3 and you look back and you see their cute little squishy face and the way that their personality is coming out, and you realize you missed the moment because what became more important to you was the slave mind. And this is a massive broken mind trap that has you in the place of enslavement, because you've been taught it from birth, that it's about everyone else and giving to everyone else instead of fulfilling yourself. And that's why you can learn from the greatest children right now, because they bring you back to that childlike mind, to the creator that you are, that imagines, and oh my God, the way they manifest the magic that they are, because they don't have anything telling them it can't happen. They only know that there's more potential. They don't know the limitation other than what you're teaching them, and you're breaking their mind and trapping their mind into all the limitations because of your false evidence appearing real. And so let's get us back to those relationships of knowing that when you are accountable and you become the action of the change that you want to be, it can only be through the understanding of sitting in those broken mind traps that are holding you back. And almost everyone that comes, speaks with me, whether it's one-on-one or in groups, wherever we are, each and every one of you is trapped in the sabotage mind, continually sabotaging your progress, to have that progressive mind of moving forward. You're stuck in problem mind. You're continually creating problems all the time because your 5-year-old self wants to create a problem so it can have a solution for it and pat itself on the back. And all it did is have you addicted to chaos. And so the sabotage mind and the slave mind and the poverty mind, they play so importantly together, because that is the whole reason why many of you will be listening to me speaking right here, but you'll do nothing to change. You'll hear it, it feels right to you, you believe you're learning something new, but you will not be the action in making it new in your life every day, repeatedly, so that you become the new you. And so in those moments, within those keys of all that you are, of that accountability first, of being accountable and wearing everything you have done, that is the forgiveness process in action. I was saying just then, I do love meditations on many Sundays, and the group that we had last night, or yesterday I should say, it's amazing how everyone who comes are a part of the consciousness, and you'll see that each and every one of them are breaking through the same kind of thing at the same time in their consciousness. And it's about knowing they're so done with the jobs that they're in. They're not feeling fulfillment anymore. They, know they're ready for something new. And this is every one of you who is ready to break through into the 5D self, the fourth density of you, of the love of you, the soul essence of you, the creator of you, not the 3D player that wants material things, that wants just the experience of this 3D tangible gravity world. And so you're not alone. There's so many of you feeling it, and you're feeling this numbness because you have no desire, because you feel like it's all been taken from you. And so the first relationship we have to go and sit in then is, who am I? Who do I really want to be? What do I want? What do I believe I need? And how do I know I already am? And so these are those things I would love you to contemplate and sit in. Those 3 questions there. When we believe we need something, it continually has us escaping outside of ourselves, believing something outside of ourselves is going to fulfill us. But from taking it from need to moving it into want, it makes it a little more specific, because we've narrowed out everything we don't want, and we're more specific in what we want. And then knowing that what it is that you want is desiring you as much as you are desiring it, is because it is not separate from you. It's always been you and within you to create, because it has already been you. That's why it knows how to desire you energetically again. And so instead of going from I want now, it goes into I already am, or I know. And I now accept it, allow it, and receive it. And those are 3 different things that happen as well. You can allow the greatest experiences in your life, but are you willing to receive them? This is where the worthy mind, instead of the broken unworthiness mind, is, where many people will have, like I've said to many people in a lot of my life shops that I've done, I'm going to write a check out to you right now. What number do you want on it? And most people feel guilt or the unacceptance because they don't want me to lose anything for their gain. I'll say that again. So if I were to say to you, I'm going to write a check out to you right now. How much do you feel you're worth for me to write on that check? And the first thing people say is, it's coming from you? Yes. Well, I don't want anything to come from you because I don't want to break you. So then I'll switch around saying, okay, so let's look at this different then. If you know it's coming from the universe, if the universe is going to write you the check so that you feel disconnected from it because you don't believe you are a part of it, so that you feel like, you don't have a tie to it, then what is that number? And then people will say, oh, $1 million or $70 million or whatever, because they believe it can be from something else that they don't know, but from someone else they know, they don't want to accept it. Do you see the broken mind trap there? The universe is giving me that money because I am that money. I am the universe. So I am not different from the universe or me. We are the same abundance that is being offered to you. If I am saying whatever the check is to write it out, all I can say to you is, well, I don't have enough to cover that, or absolutely, here you go. It is yours because I love you, because I offered it to you. So when someone has an offer they're giving to you, if you can accept that you are willing to have that offer, but then you can't receive it, this is the biggest broken mind trap that happens within all of these relationships, because you have an expectation, you have a time limit or a timestamp on it of when you believe it has to come, or then you don't want it at all because you're trying to control it. You're trying to control everything within your relationship. You want to control how that person thinks and feels and how they can fulfill your needs. Or you don't believe that you're a match. Instead, when you know who you are and are ever continually growing into more and more of who you're choosing to be, because it's a choice, it is the action of continually growing into yourself, or growing up, because we're growing upward and inward. We don't become grown up. You're continually growing up. You're continually growing up. And so a broken mind trap, again, will be where people say, oh, grow up. Well, they're busy growing. They may feel staggered. They may feel sedentary, but they're still growing. So to say grow up to someone is so redundant, because everyone is continually growing. You aren't grown up. You haven't grown up and you're it. How many of you know and are willing to accept and be accountable that when you have a child, you're busy growing into that role as much as they're growing into their role? You don't know everything. You don't know a thing. And it doesn't matter what books you believed you decided you needed to buy and read, which I laugh at hysterically, because there's not one book that is going to tell you who your child is, because each and every child you've ever had is their own unique personality that you can never put into a little box. That's why you will forward all the time, continually growing into the idea of what is a parent or nurturer or guide or leader. You're continually growing into it because you're literally always in the teaching and the learning from the teaching, and vice versa. So open your mind, get rid of your idea of what the relationships were that were important to you, by first being that relationship to yourself. Do you understand? Do you understand that you are the key here? The only key that will decide what kind of relationships that they will welcome into their life, that they will nourish and flourish in and honor within their life, because they have created their specific integrity and passion on what is it, what is love to you, what will you not tolerate or not allow in your life that is lack. It has to start with you. You bully yourself continually, putting yourself down. But you hate when someone else bullies you. but you've loved that you have been your biggest bully. What is the mirror? What is the outside reality giving to you? When you feel not heard outside, that no one is wanting to listen to you, why is it that you believe you aren't worthy of what you feel and what you are saying? The validation and approval has to come from you first. Many of you are continually looking for approval outside of yourself. And so, like I've said to many people, one of the greatest books that I find that are a great key that help as well is the 5 love languages. And within those 5 languages, it gives you an idea of what 3 you are the most. Some of you are all 5, all day long, all the time. And that means that you were given every aspect of what love is. And what's really funny is my youngest daughter, when she was starting to go into her process of the journey and going deeper into herself and contemplating and breaking through stuff, she had read the 5 love languages, and she came home to me and she wanted to be the victim mind and blame me and say it was all my fault, that it was all my fault that she's all 5, and that now she expects all 5 from every one of her lovers or partners or whatever. And I said, so let me get this straight. I have given you praise. I have given you touch. I have given you quality time. I have been in service to you and given you gifts of love. And so because of that, it's my fault that I have made you so whole that you have that expectation from everybody else. Well, when you put it that way. And so part of that, of what she was in, instead of understanding that those 5 that are building blocks of what she will accept, was her receiving everything, all forms of love. But the deception side wants you to feel guilty for it, that you should be humble and not accepting of, which is lack in the highest degree. So for you to be all 5, great. The greatest thing you can do with your closest partner or relationship, and it can be a daughter and mother, or son and mother, or the daughter and son, or the mother father, or boyfriend girlfriend, or girlfriend boyfriend, it doesn't matter. But if you are very close to someone and you spend so much time with each other, the greatest thing you could do is read the 5 love languages, or if you already know what your language is to share that with all those people around you. The reason being, because then they know how to respond to you because of the love that you are and your perception of it. So you will change continually into those 5. And there may be 3 top ones that you continually play in a lot. There may be some that you aren't interested in at all. And I'm going to tell you that you are keeping that from yourself. When I have my 5 love languages, my first really was acts of service, quality time, and then touch. And then words of affirmation and gifts were in the backside, because I've never needed someone to tell me who they think I am to them, like you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're whatever, because I have done that with myself for so long that I have centered myself in it, that I don't need it from anyone outside of myself, because I already have it within myself, and it doesn't make me feel or feel any kind of lack if I don't have it. And so that was my 4th. And then the 5th was gifts. I've never needed gifts of love, but I do appreciate them. But they are not a part of what really gets my motor going, gets my mojo running. But I absolutely love all aspects of love. And I will thank you always when someone says, oh, you're so beautiful. Thank you. I didn't need to hear those words, because I haven't needed those or wanted those, because I already am those. But I sure loved when someone was in acts of service to me, because I love being acts of service to others. But as you grow and work through in your relationship of who you are, what has changed just recently with the amount of love energy that's flowing on these planes of existence, that so many people are having aha moments and suddenly becoming something new and letting go of things that don't mean a thing to you anymore. It became the same three, but they're in a different place where I love quality time and touch and then acts of service, because that full on love, that full connection is what's the most important to me now. And again, the words of affirmations, the gifts are still a part of my whole love story, because I will always accept anything that someone thought of me to give to me. I think is such an honor, because they specifically thought of me and thought they wanted to love on me. How can you not say thank you for that? But I would rather just have quality time with them, right? Or a hug, right? And that's where I realized touch was so important, because I will feel that connection so deeply now from a hug, and I'll feel so much in that person from that hug than when it was just an act of doing something. It was an actual connection. And so that's why you're going to find that you change. So if any of you haven't had the chance to watch or read the 5 love languages, because there is a movie, I believe, out on it, and some people are better as a vocal and to be able to auditory. Do it with your partner. Each one of you read a chapter. Each of you take a turn speaking it, so it's coming from your voice, one chapter, and then your lover's voice next, so that you really get to know your love languages with each other, because that idea of love will go in your workforce, with all of your children, with everyone that you get to meet. When you understand what they feel fulfills them, is love in the act of giving to them. And it may mean nothing to you, but when you're wanting to love someone else, you want to come to them so that it's a place of understanding, for them to understand. And this is truly the relationship. When you want to understand yourself or understand yourself, then you can't help but want to understand all others. So the next part of those keys, after you have that open mind to allow yourself to sit in those broken mind aspects, to know you want to forge through, is then investing in ways to make you the wholest, because you are your biggest investment. And every thought that you've decided to stay in and thinking, you are investing into and creating an active emotion behind it, which is fueling what you either want or don't want in your life. So I hope this helps you sit in the true root of what relationships really are and how deep you need to go in. It has to begin with yourself. And I hope there's these tidbits that you can sit in that give you things to contemplate, to be able to forge forward into paying it forward to all of those relations outside of yourself, because you're paying it forward to you, because it has to be the key, and the key is you. This is the number one key. And the greatest key, even bigger than that you are putting the key in to unlock, is love. It is, you are love or you are not. And so please sit in all that you have listened to here today, here at Opening Doors Productions, here with me, Tracy A. Martin. If you have a question, please text me at 780-446-1687, or send an email to support@livingwholeonpurpose.com. If you are ready to begin and go forward in everything that I teach and do and all the programs I've created, if you are ready to meet your breakthrough coach, then please do email at breakthrough@livingwholeonpurpose.com, and your breakthrough coach will set up a time for you that works with the two of you, so that you guys can start having even more breakthroughs, so that then you'll get to have your accountability coach that starts to help support you through the whole process and through this whole program. And I will enjoy loving you up, because that's all I can do, because it is completely inside of you, and we will walk beside you 100% of the way. I hope that you have the greatest day of your life, because it is completely up to you, on purpose. I hope that the relationship you build in yourself is so divine, is so important, is so worthy that you can't help to be just that. Thank you.